Good afternoon, High Point family. Welcome to week 4 of Cooking Collaborative in this wonderful kitchen in Cafe Dorm on this extraordinary campus at High Point University.
It's been great to see pictures from you the past several weeks of the dishes that we prepared and instruct you how to do. Keep that stuff coming. It keeps us motivated and inspired, but it's awesome to see that you're feeding your families based off of what we're providing as far as that goes. We definitely want to feature a recipe here today from The Point. If you want to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we're going to feature this multi-purpose dough recipe that we're going to do today. Allows you to make 3 things. 3 extraordinary, fun things to do at your house. We're going to make pizza. Like Chef Brendan said, we're going to feature one of the best sellers at The Point, margarita pizza. It's got fresh basil, it's got fresh ricotta cheese, it's got fresh mozzarella, homemade tomato sauce, and your homemade pizza recipe that you're going to make today. As well, we're going to feature cinnamon rolls, amazing, and you can make your own loaf bread out of this. And with the loaf bread, there's many things that we'll talk about that you can tie into the loaf bread to flavor it, to season it. So it's really multi-purpose. Great way to have fun with your family. Great way to get everybody involved. It is baking. A lot of people get intimidated when they hear baking and they hear flour and they hear yeast, but I'm going to tell you, this recipe has 5 simple ingredients. It's so easy. Don't be intimidated. Have fun with it. The great thing is, if you mess up, you can do it again.
Very true. And the smell is coming from your kitchen. Who doesn't love the smell of fresh bread? So we're going to get started. We have, like Jeremy said, a very simple recipe. It's adapted slightly from the recipe at The Point, but super simple, easy to come along, and not too difficult to remake if you get there. So the first thing we're going to start with is our sugar and our yeast and our salt. So we're going to combine our sugar and our yeast in our bowl.
Now what Chef Brendan is doing is all these ingredients are on the menu cards that we send out every day, or for every filming series, excuse me. So you have these measurements in your recipe card that we will send out.
We've got some water between 105 and 110 degrees. You don't want it to be too warm. It will kill the yeast if you're not careful. So just make sure you're checking that water temperature. Usually you're around the 105 degree mark. So just check with your finger if it seems a little warm. You want to let it sit for a minute or so. It also, with the bowl being more room temperature, will cool it down a little bit too. So no frets. Once again, super simple recipe, easy to do. And
if your water's too cold, it won't activate the yeast properly. So you have a good buffer there between 105 and 110, like Chef Brandon said. So don't be intimidated. It's just yeast. It's just a product. It's fun to work with.
That's right. So I'm adding the water into it. I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix this in, get the yeast to start activating in that warm water. And then we will add the salt and the 1 egg. And that's kind of the difference between this recipe and a typical pizza dough recipe. You generally don't add egg to that, but the egg helps make up for some of that protein that the gluten requires to activate. So let me get these gloves on and we'll get started.
Looks like you're having a problem with
just a little bit. I think
are those the extra small ones?
It might be the extra small. And my hands are pretty small anyway, so it's kind of surprising.
Maybe I can get down this level here.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, I was just wondering. Sorry.
Don't want you to hurt your knee.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, what Chef Brendan is going to use, on your recipe card, it says all-purpose flour, which you can use, or if you prefer, you can use a high gluten flour. Chef Brendan is going to tell you the differences in those two right now.
So your all-purpose flour tends to not have as much gluten in it, so lighter in color whenever you start baking things, a little bit denser, fluffier, a little bit more crumble. With your high gluten flour, which is typically the type of flour we use for pizza dough just to create that additional rise, it tends to brown out a little bit more in the baking process, a little bit chewier and then stretchier. So that's what you're looking for a lot of time with pizza, is get that stretch out of it. This recipe does have a really good bounce back as far as you let it proof for about an hour, half an hour to an hour, puffs right back up, smash it down, stretch it, good to go. So we've got our yeast and our sugar in here. It's kind of incorporating that with the hands.
I'm always amazed by the wealth of knowledge.
Oh, Lord.
In this little body.
In this little body.
But that's why I enjoy working with Chef Brendan so much.
So we're gonna add our salt to this mix as well. Another quick stir with the hands.
Get it all incorporated into your water. You can actually now smell the yeast starting to work. You can smell it, and it's going to be more prevalent than it was before. That's a good sign. It means it's starting to work. It's coming alive.
You kind of want to work all those granules out. You know, you're gonna have kind of a milky looking water at the end of this, and that's when you know the smell. Once again, as Jeremy said, that's when you know that the yeast is activated and we're ready to go with the flour. So we're gonna add the 1 egg to it as well. In there, making a mess.
Make a big mess.
That's
what it's about. Baking's about making a mess.
Oh yeah. So we got our egg in there, getting it nice and incorporated as well.
Here, I'll take the top off this for you.
Oh, I got it.
You got some ready?
I got some all
Oh,
separated.
pre-measured.
That.
The magic of TV.
Yep, you're right about that.
So in your recipe card, it's going to say 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. What you want to do when you're incorporating your flour into this mix, you want to do a cup at a time. This is where you can get somebody to help you if you'd like. You start incorporating a cup at a time, mix it a little bit, get your hands in there. And then the dough's going to start forming. You're going to start feeling it really sticky now. That half a cup of extra flour is what you're going to do to help the stickiness come away from your hands. You're going to be able to make a ball. You should be able to make a ball, and it's going to stick to your hands a little bit. But that extra flour is going to help you incorporate that stickiness and get it into a nice, firm, round ball for you. See, Chef Brandon's worked this into a ball here, which looks lovely, wonderful. Wanted to tell you, if you have a KitchenAid or a mixer at home, you can also use that. Same step, same method. Add 1 cup of flour in at a time. Use your dough hook on your mixer, and then it'll start forming a ball just like this. And then once you get into a ball, you're going to you're going to stick this in another bowl, and you're going to cover it up with a dish towel, and you're going to let it rise in your kitchen on your counter for 1 hour. Okay, and then you're going to see that after it rises, you can use it that day, immediately go into your pizza recipe, or if you want, you can cover it up with some cellophane wrap in your refrigerator overnight, bring it out the next day, and use it. So it's a wonderful ingredient.
And it's going to almost double in size. You'll see this as it starts to rise, especially in that temperature.
It's really fun. Check on it as it's rising. Go look at it in 15 minutes and see how big it's gotten. 30 minutes, it's a really fun project to do with you and your family while you're at home. So it's been an hour. Look at this beautiful pizza dough that has risen. It's going to double in size, like Chef Brandon said. It's fun to watch while it's doing it. So now that this is ready to go, you're going to get your pizza surface ready to make pizza. All right, so now folks, we have our nice dough ball here. When you start working with it, you're going to see that it's going to actually deflate a little bit. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you've killed it or you've worked it too much. It's just what's going to happen. It's a natural occurrence. This is actually going to keep continuing to work and rise as you work with your pizza. So we're going to lighten the surface, put some flour on our surface here. We're going to work with the dough.
Just helps keep it from sticking to whatever your surface is.
That's right. You can work this with your hands a little bit. Now remember, it's pizza and it's fun. You don't have to worry about making a perfect circle. All you want to do is have fun with your family. Now we're going to get this started. What I like to do, get it started into some sort of round shape. It's not going to be perfect. Get any kind of rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, believe it or not, you can use the edge of a wine bottle or something that's round that's going to work hard enough to just roll out.
And while he's working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and get our fresh mozzarella sliced off, get our marinara or pizza sauce pulled out. Marinara can be used as well. So we make all that stuff in-house. So that's another thing that's awesome about High Point University is the scratch cooking we're doing there.
Almost got it worked out. If you have a round pizza stone, you can put that in your oven. You can try to get it to the size of that, or some round cookie sheets or some baking sheets. We're gonna use a rectangle cookie sheet today.
Or you can throw it on your grill. That's the other option too.
You can grill pizza. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Get a nice charred flavor from that.
That's right. So now that we have this good, wonderful round pizza dough, we're gonna stretch them out a little bit on our, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly round, folks. It's what you prefer. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create a little barrier for your crust. Take your fingers, tap it down. This is just gonna kind of give you a border for your sauce. Beautiful cheese, chef.
Fresh mozzarella can't go wrong.
Now what we're doing is the margarita pizza, but obviously folks, you can do any of your favorite toppings. That's the great thing about this. You can create your own pizza, anything you want. What you're gonna do is after you do that, you're gonna take a fork, you're gonna poke some holes in it. If you ever get a pizza, delivery pizza, you go somewhere and you see the big bubbles in it, this is what's going to stop those bubbles from forming. Poke as many holes in it as you can, something fun to do, get the kids to do it, you can make some designs. It's just something fun. This is gonna make sure that you don't get those air pockets that form so everything cooks evenly, okay? Chef Brandon's got my pizza sauce, so we're gonna put some pizza sauce on this. ladle. And again, with your pizza sauce, it's however you like a lot of sauce, you like medium sauce, light sauce. You put this however much sauce you want, and just go out to that little trough that you formed with your fingers. That's going to be basically the border of your toppings and the separation of your pizza crust. This looks good. This looks good. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some fresh ricotta. And you know, it doesn't have to be pretty, folks. You just put some dollops of fresh ricotta on there, wherever you want, however much of it you want. Who doesn't love cheese, right? Put some in the middle, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take some of this fresh mozz that you've sliced, which is fun. You can get somebody in your house to do, oh, sorry, wrong. We're gonna go with a little bit of shredded mozzarella first.
Cheesy, cheesy.
Cheesy cheese. Just a little bit of shredded mozzarella. Sorry, I didn't mean to mix up the procedure there. Okay? And now we're gonna come back with the fresh mozzarella. Same thing like you did with the ricotta. You can put this fresh mozzarella anywhere you want to on your pizza. You like a lot, put it on there. It's up to you. It's your pizza. It's fun. It's how you want to make it at your house.
And we tend to top it at the point with some fresh basil, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that ready to go, and we'll bake some on it, and then we'll top it with some fresh.
That's right. That's what I was just about to say. There's a couple things you can do. We're gonna put some fresh basil on top of it to bake, and then as a garnish when it comes out, we're gonna put some fresh right on top. Chef Brandon did a nice julienne there for me. He's got great knife skills. This pizza looks great. And then we're gonna take just a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, right? And we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on this thing as we cook it, a little bit on the outside of the crust, a little extra flavor there. And that, folks, is your margherita pizza from the Point here at High Point University. We're gonna put this in the oven. What's our temperature, Chef?
450 degrees, about 10 to 12 minutes.
And then once it comes out, we're gonna show you what our end product is. So it's been about 12 to 15 minutes now. Our pizza smells wonderful. I'm gonna pull it out of the oven. Chef Brandon's got some fresh basil we're gonna top it off with.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, homemade pizza, you can't beat it. What do you think, Chef?
Looks good. Crust has risen a little bit. Got a little bit of color on there. A little bit of char on the cheese. Hit it with that fresh basil, and
amazing.
Here in a minute or so, that smell of that basil will start coming out, and man, it's gonna smell great in here.
So here you go, folks. We have the margherita pizza that's featured here on High Point University campus from the Point. It's an amazing pizza. We're gonna put it on this lovely cutting board here and try a piece of it. What do you think, Chef?
I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
Getting hungry.
Getting hungry. All right. Pizza cutter, simple. You can cut your pizza any way you want to. Oh man, it's good and crusty. Hear that crunch when you cut it. And remember, guys, it's pizza, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Chef, ready?
Oh yeah.
A little warm. Amazing. All right, folks, so back again. Exciting pizza, lovely, fun. Now, for the next day's breakfast, we're gonna start making the cinnamon rolls, right? Same thing, you got your pizza dough here, nice, risen, great looking dough. We're gonna flour our surface that we're gonna roll on. Here again, cinnamon rolls, you know, you need a little bit of uniformity, but it doesn't have to be perfect, folks. This is what you're doing at your house. It's supposed to be fun. Do not be intimidated. Now, if you want to create a large batch of cinnamon rolls, so you have a couple extra for the next day or two, what you can do is double your recipe. Just double your recipe, a little bit bigger mixing bowl. It will not hurt, I promise you. You're gonna get the same result. It's gonna rise, it's gonna be lots of fun. That way you got this really nice, big, fluffy cinnamon rolls that you can make.
And they will be eaten, so.
They will be eaten.
Somebody will eat them.
So you're gonna get your rolling pin out. You gotta work. Now this one, you gotta work a little bit. So if you have some young children at home,
put them to work.
Put them to work.
They're sitting around anyway at this point in time.
Because you don't want this dough to be too thick, but you do want to have some consistency all the way around. And you may see that your dough wants to come back to you. That's fine. You just keep working it. Keep working it. You do your best job that you can to make a nice square. It's not going to be perfect, folks, I promise you, but it's going to be wonderful. And then you flip him over again, you work the other side a little bit. Yeah, we're really starting to get there now. Oh, it's starting to stick a little bit. A little flour. You can add a little flour to the surface or to your roller.
The other thing with this recipe is we're gonna do a basic cinnamon and sugar, a little butter brushed over it. You can put fruit in this, fresh fruit or dried fruit, chocolate chips, you know, so you really vary this up a little bit from a flavor profile and just how you wanna.
Chopped nuts,
Yeah.
walnuts,
Oh, yeah.
brown sugar. We're gonna use regular sugar today and cinnamon, but the amount of things that you can put into these cinnamon rolls, folks, are amazing. So now that we got it rolled out, that's pretty good. It covers your surface there. All right, so we're gonna take the melted butter that you had. A couple ways you can do it. You can pour it on there, spread it out with your hands. We got a nice butter brush. We're just gonna butter this up. Who doesn't love butter, right? More butter, more better. Man,
Nice and
too
glistening.
bad that people are gonna miss this. Now, you're gonna take your sugar, hand do this. Just take a big, nice helping handful of it. Thank you, Chef. You wanna sprinkle the sugar on. Now what they'll do is the butter's gonna soak some of it up. And then you're gonna be able to see as well some of the butter that some of the sugar's gonna pile up. You just wanna take your hand, kind of spread it out a little bit. It's gotta love you for making this. All right, so now that you got your sugar, like I said, it's up to you. You put as much as you want. If you like it sweet, it's up to you. A little cinnamon now, you wanna cover your cinnamon, cover the whole surface of it. They are cinnamon rolls. Great, nice and covered up. Everything's covered on this thing. Now here comes the fun part. We're gonna start rolling this. Don't be intimidated, folks, it's just fun. Start rolling the dough, get it started. Try to keep it as tight as you can. Work it from one end to the other. Once you get it going, you'll see it might want to start unrolling. You just kind of tuck it back into itself. Like I said, folks, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it feels like it's loose, you can just kind of pull it and roll it at the same time. Look at that, one big nice roll.
Who needs Pillsbury when you got Jeremy?
That's right. Look at that, folks. Amazing. All right, so to get these cooked, now that you got it rolled, Chef Brandon's gonna get me a well-greased, buttered casserole dish that you're gonna bake these in.
Oh yeah.
More
Nice,
butter,
and,
more
nice
better.
and liberal.
So folks, so now as you're cutting these, you just gotta cut the ends. You can cut them about half an inch, and then you're gonna start placing them in here in the center. You're gonna put them right next to each other.
Those look store-bought. Are you sure you made that?
I made it. It's shake and bake, and I held it. Like I said, folks, this is one of the best recipes, fun recipes that you can do with your family. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You just want to kind of stack them around.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, these are really nice. I have to admit, the cinnamon dough recipe, you can let the dough sit overnight, but it's best if you do it fresh that day. You can't go wrong with fresh dough. Continue to put them in there, work them all the way around.
And if they don't hit the edge, it's fine. They're gonna puff anyway.
That's
a little
exactly
bit in the
right.
oven, so.
Don't worry about them sticking together. They have everything inside them to make sure that they don't stick together. One more. Awesome. So now that you have this created, you got your nice, all your cinnamon buns are in here, ready to go. You're gonna put this in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees.
So while your cinnamon rolls in the oven, we're gonna do a quick, easy frosting. Super simple, super easy icing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take about a cup of powdered confectioner's sugar, add it into our bowl.
More sugar.
Yes.
More sugar.
And then a tablespoon. So your ratio is about a cup to a tablespoon of heavy cream, or half and half. Heavy cream tends to be a little bit better. You know, same as the butter. You can't go wrong with full fat. So.
Now, if you don't have these ingredients at home and you don't feel like going to the store and get them, you can also use some cake icing. I know it's funny. You take a couple spoonfuls, put it in a microwave for about 15 seconds, and then you can just drizzle it and pour it on your cinnamon rolls when they come out. It works just as well, I promise you. Oh, that's amazing.
Nice and easy, super simple glaze that we're gonna put on there. So You'll just top them all off, a little bit more sugar, can't go wrong.
Chef, I think it's ready to go. I smell it. I'm gonna pull them out. If you want to get that icing ready, we'll go ahead and put the icing on when they come out. That's amazing. I'll bring this over there to you, Chef, and put that icing on there. So here, folks, is what your cinnamon rolls should look like when they come out. Nice, uniform, beautiful, cooked, smells wonderful. Chef Brandon's gonna add some icing to this for us. Just drizzle the icing on it wherever you want, let it fall where it may fall. Then you can just take your spoon or your butter brush and then brush it to wherever you want to. Absolutely amazing.
So as they're warm, it'll tend to spread out a little bit more as well. And then you have a spoon for the kids to lick as well. So.
And there you go, folks. Your homemade cinnamon rolls with the pizza dough that you just used for dinner last night. Now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to make loaf bread.
So for this what we did today, we basically did a triple batch of this recipe. And that triple batch was able to make us the one pizza, the cinnamon rolls that you saw, and also prepare enough for a loaf of bread. So we've got our loaf here. We're just gonna fold it in on itself. Throw a little bit of flour down here.
Yeah, you don't have to roll this. All you're doing here is Chef Brandon's forming a loaf. Just like your loaf bread in the grocery store is forming a loaf. You can also do a round if you want. It'll cook just as well if you have a round pie pan at home that has some edges. Same thing. Fun.
We'll hit the inside of this pan with a little bit of olive oil.
You can also add fresh herbs to this, seasoned salts to this bread. You can take olives, capers, salami, ham, anything that you like, chop it up, make your own muffaletta bread loaf if you'd like to. This is an amazing, versatile recipe.
Yep, super easy to do. So we have our bread in our loaf pan, and we are going to get it in the oven.
Chef, you're gonna bake that. I have my notes here, my handy little notes. You're gonna bake that for at 350 for 10 to 15 minutes.
Easy peasy. So we hit about the 15-minute mark on the bread. So we're gonna go ahead and get it out. It smells awesome in here.
It smells wonderful.
Oh yeah, looks great, glistening. Nice little bit of oil to get infused in there. Once again, like Jeremy said, adding the extra herbs or other pieces to that puzzle to really just make this bread your own. And that's kind of what we've encouraged throughout this cooking series is we're giving you the tools, make it unique to yourself and your family.
Be creative with these recipes, folks. They don't have to be exactly as we say. Have fun with them, enjoy them. And like we said, we always enjoy your pictures and your posts afterwards. So if you guys make these recipes, please put them post them on the Facebook page. Let us know how much you enjoyed them.
Also want to do a big shout out to the grads of 2020. Congratulations. We really miss you and wish you were here. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you if you decide to pick up the master's program in the fall.
Yep. Thank you very much, folks. Enjoy your cooking in your kitchen with your family. We hope to see you next week.